Hey there everybody, this is Mike Jones from the Connection Games and Comics with my Friday Night Magic Return to Ravnica Block Draft from Friday, June the 7th. This is the draft video. Again, we had a pretty good turnout tonight. We had 2 pods of 8 and a pod of 7. This is the same day that Modern Masters came out, so here we go right into it. We've got a Runner's Bane, Gruul Warchant, Krace's Incubation. Gruul Warchant is definitely first pickable. Incubation maybe. Give and Take's good card. Ugh, Tagic though. So you guys all know what my first pick is going to be here. This card is pretty hard to deal with. 2/2 indestructible that becomes a 7/7 when you can trigger Battalion. But there's a Beetle Form Mage in there too, so there's a good Simic signal coming out of this pack. So I'm guessing that I'm going to be sending the person to my left either into Gruul probably or Simic or maybe both of those guilds, which bodes well for me in maybe getting some Boros cards on the Gate Crash pack. Anyway, pick up Tagic here. Really happy about that. The thing was definitely an all-star in my deck. And here we go on to pick 2 after I pick up the card that fell on the floor. Yeah, Gruul Cluestone. I gotta punish the enemy. That's on color. A couple of other options. Then we get the Vitu-Ghazi Scion, the Scion of Vitu-Ghazi Blaze Commando, Bronzebeak Moa, and a Boros Cluestone. So I'm thinking my green, white, red with the Moa. Do I cut really hard on the Boros and take the Blaze Commando out? Scion of Vitu-Ghazi's a decent 4. He's a 5 mana, 2 whites, 3, 5 mana. Or just take the good removal and punish the enemy. So this was actually a really hard pick, and I had to think about it for a while. Scion of Vitu-Ghazi, 4/4 that puts a bird token into play, and then is it 2 bird tokens into play? You know, am I doing the populate thing? Am I gonna do the green white? Then I'm passing the Bronzebeak. That's gonna send a signal. Blaze Commando's not. Yeah, he's good in the right deck, and I end up tabling him as you'll see. But you know, because I don't think he's super high pickable. It's either gonna be Scion or punish the enemy here. And I quite like the removal spell, punish the enemy. 5 mana, deal 6 damage, 3 to a creature and 3 to a player. So that's pretty efficient. Pick up the punish the enemy there. Not upset about that pick. Here I get a chance at a foil Gruul Guild Gate, but no. Much as I love the foil cards, Hazda Snare Squad is going to be my pick here. That card is very good in limited. It just lets you push stuff through. Takes his biggest blocker out of the way usually. 1/4 he can you know stand to attack into quite a few things. So like that card quite a bit. Some more Cluestones, Boros Guildgate, foil is it, and another punish the enemy. I'll take that, thank you. I think that's a good signal. 3rd pick that the player, at least the player immediately to my right and maybe 2 to my right, is not in red. Punish the enemy is pretty premium piece of removal in my opinion, as you saw me second pick it here over some other good cards. So I get the red Gatekeeper there, Toil and Trouble, Profit and Loss, Maze Sentinel. Nothing much Boros-y in here. Maze Sentinel is going to give my Tagic Vigilance, which is okay. Am I going to pick up? I don't have any gates yet. In a Boros deck, when I'm trying to be a little bit on the aggressive side, not hoping to pick up a lot of gates, so the gatekeepers lose a little bit of their value. Profit and Loss has been used against me quite effectively a number of times. Even if I'm only playing the profit side, a 2 mana, all my creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn could be pretty important. If I'm going to get in there with a creature swarm, being able to pump all my guys. So I pick up the Profit and Loss here. Even if I'm not going to play the lost side. Who knows, maybe I'm red, white, black at this point. We'll see what comes to us. Alright, then I get past Feral Animist, Izzet Cluestone, Nivix Cyclops, Blast of Genius, Mutant's Praise, not so much. But Blast of Genius and the other good blue, you know, the defender here, the 5/05 2 mana defender, those are both pretty good blue cards. And the Nivix Cyclops in this pack means I think that Izzet's also open, so perhaps more so than Orzhov. So I'm going to pick up the Blast of Genius there. Again, that's a very splashable card too. So And here we get another pile of nothing. So I got Riot Piker, Boros or Is It Cluestones. Really not trying to ramp my Boros, but if I'm gonna do the splash, the Is It Cluestone is gonna come in handy. Protect and Serve was also, I guess, an option. I guess that +2/+4 and a -6/-0 card, but yeah, pick up the Cluestone here. That's gonna help me play that Blast of Genius I just picked up. If I decide to get a chance at another Is It Cluestone, and here I get a rare Catch and Release. So if I'm playing red, white, blue, this card could be playable. And it's a rare, so why not? I'll try that. You know, maybe I'll table something else here, but not much in that pack. That pack was pretty bad compared to this, so even if I just played it as the release part, I guess that wouldn't be too terrible, although it could hurt me as much as my opponent. Here I get Maze Sentinel or Maze Rusher. So that's the one that's going to give my multicolored creatures either Vigilance or Haste. I'm trying to figure out which one's more important. I think a 7/7 Vigilant guy is going to, or I guess I could pick up the Murmuring Phantasm. So again, that's another one of those 0/5 walls. Not really looking to pick up walls in my aggressive Boros deck though, so Sentinel it is. I'll try that and see if that works. Here we get, hey, the Blaze Commando came all the way back around. Good sign for me. Maybe nobody else is in Boros at the table. Turns out not to be true, but pretty happy to see him back, especially since I've got 2 Punish the Enemies already. Chances are I'm going to be able to get a couple of soldier tokens out of him if he ever hits the table. Turn 5 Blaze Commando followed by turn 6 Punish the Enemy. Swing for 7 seems pretty good, and take out your blocker. So here you get a Weapon Surge, Demir, Cluestone, Down and Dirty, Showstopper, and Maze Behemoth. I just cut the red card, Weapon Surge. Try to make sure my opponent's not cutting my red next pack. And here I get a foil Is It Cluestone. So again, more help to play that Blast of Genius I picked up. So why not? And it's foil, so you know me. Of course I'm going to take the foil. And we get Steeple Rock, Maze Glider. Maze Glider could have been an option for me here, actually. That's a decent card on the splash, probably better than Steeple Rock. I think that's probably a wrong pick. And I get second to last pick Nivik Cyclops. Sweet! Card's good. Even in an aggressive deck, especially if I'm going to be drafting quite a few instant or sorcery spells. So I already got those 2, Blast of Genius, the Catch and the Release. It's all going to turn on that Cyclops and let me get in there for at least 4 with him. He can be pretty aggressive in the right deck. And also, this is the Gate Crash pack. Here I'm hoping to pick up a lot of good Boros stuff. And what do I open? I get Basilica Guards, not so Borosy. Bomber Corp. I don't really want that. Oh, Guardian of the Gateless. I'll take that. And a Fathom Mage is my rare, so that's gonna pass that along. Can't really play Fathom Mage with the stuff I've already picked up. But Guardian of the Gateless is a pretty sweet pickup here. 5 mana, 3/3 flyer that can block your whole team. I'll take one of those. So he gets in there if I need to. Turns on Battalion, and he can block a whole bunch of stuff real well. Alright, I get an Edict, Scorchwalker, Martial Glory, Act of Treason, Signal the Clans, not so much. So really, I guess it's between Act of Treason, Martial Glory, Scorchwalker, and Angelic Edict here. I like the hard removal, even if it's 5 mana. That's going to deal with stuff. It's going to be able to deal with my Tajic, so let's cut that out. Don't want people being able to deal with Tajic. If I manage to get him on the table. And woohoo! Thank you! One of the best Boros commons, I think, in the set in Truefire Paladin. But there's also Halberdiers and Ember Beast in here. And another Angelic Edict. Well, I gotta guess I'm going to pass one of the Edicts. because I'm not passing True Fire Paladin, and I'm really, after the first pack, I've realized I've got a lot of top end and not a lot of 1, 2, 3 drops, which is really what Boros wants to have quite a few of. So here I get Burning Tree Emissary is another 2 drop. So Warmind Infantry, Furious Resistance, I guess. But so I've really started to prioritize right here that I need to pick up my 2 and 3 drops. Those are the things that are going to keep me in matches. So I think I guess I debate the Burning Tree Emissary for a while. Don't have a lot of 2 mana pure straight up red X spells. So Warmind Infantry is actually I think a better pickup here. He blocks a ton of bears, so next I get to see Rebirth, Structural Collapse, Bomber Core, Zarishi Tiger, Drake-Wing Krasis, or Confessor. Alright, so black, white, green, and blue, or black, green, and blue actually seem to be doing pretty nicely. I guess the Confessor is not super great, but anyway, for me here it's really just a Bomber Core. He's a 2-drop, usually a 23rd or 24th card. I'm not gonna play him unless I really have to. But this pack was insane. Okay, Legion Loyalist, Daring Skyjack, Sky Knight Legionnaire. There's a Scorch Walker and an Act of Treason in this pack. I was like, what the heck do I pick out of here? This pack is so deep for us. All right. Again, I'm worried about having enough 2-drops. I'm not really going to be able to turn on Battalion super reliably. Legion Loyalist, I've seen him do great things. I've also seen him be just a punk on the board and do nothing for you. Skyjack I like a lot. His 3 power means he'll trade favorably with a lot of stuff like Centaur tokens and things. And the chances of turning on Battalion and getting in there for 3 in the air, I think he just gives him the edge over both these other 2 cards. It's really between the Sky Knight Legionnaire, the Daring Skyjack, and the Legion Loyalist. I think Sky Knight Legionnaire has dropped a little bit in value in this set, just because the 2/2 flyer isn't so exciting anymore, considering how many other 2/2 flyers or 2-power flyers there are. Anyway, so this pack has Towering Thunderfist, or Mark for Death, or Guildscorn Ward, I guess. Really wouldn't want to play that if I can not, thank you. Beckon Apparition, I guess, would have been an option as well. I've seen Mark for Death work. Also, if you watched my video from last week, you've watched me punt on it pretty savagely. Alright, Disciple of the Old Ways. And Active Treason came all the way back. Oh, and Massive Raid. Ruination Worm there, but so I guess really between Active Treason and Massive Raid. So how many creatures do I have? Active Treason, let's see, that's going to turn on the Cyclops. And let me get in with it, plus whatever I stole. So that turns out to be a very good pick. I'm very happy about that. And Hands of Binding. Great way to sneak through. I'll splash a Hands of Binding. Get another Active Treason. Am I going to play 2? I doubt it. Or a Scorch Walker. Scorch Walker is a great trick. Giving your guy randomly +5 for the win seems like a good option. And this pack is just bleh. So Murder Investigation. What does that card do again? Whenever enchanted creature is put in the grave, put X white 1. And never mind. I'll just hate a Snapjaw here. 6 power is hard to deal with. I get Furious Resistance or an Ivy Lane Denizen. I guess maybe I might play Furious Resistance if I'm backed into a corner. He's got big fatties coming in. I think I do sideboard that in one match here. Now Wildwood Rebirth or Structural Collapse, I think that is. Yeah. Not gonna play that card. Oh well. And Bioshift. Not playing that either, so take a quick peek at what I got here before we get onto the Ravnica pack. Alright, let's see what we get in this third pack. See if we can flesh out some of the low end of our curve, hopefully. So, Caracals are not very good. Centaur Healer if I was in green. Sunspire Griffin, that's good. I'll take one of those. Is it Charm? On the splash, maybe. It's pretty good. Is Ecstatic Caster, Haste 0/3 that can ping things for 1, and a Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, one of the nice things about my deck so far is I'm not majorly color intensive. I'm trying to be mostly just red white, so the chromatic lantern I can just let that go. I don't need to use up a slot to fix mana, and I can just take a decent creature here or a pretty good removal spell. I'll pick up the Sunspire Griffin. Again, it's a low drop creature, which I'm a little bit light on so far. 2/3 evasive creature, decent. Not awesome first pick, but hey. So here you go: Avenging Arrow, Gorehouse Chainwalker, Frostburn Weird, or Labrakrew, or Concordia Pegasus. Now, Pegasus is pretty poopy, so I guess, and Labrakrew, I don't know. Aggressive Boros deck, not the thing you really want. So it's really between the Avenging Arrow, the Gorehouse Chainwalker, or the Frostburn Weird. I don't know. Gorehouse Chainwalker does some good stuff. He definitely fits the aggressive plan. Frostburn Weird beats Gorehouse Chainwalker in a fight, though. So he can Frostburn Weird can just sit in front of it for a while, or if he wants, he can make the trade. But anyway, I pick up the Chainwalker here. Turns out I don't get punished for that, because right in this pack here, Stab Wound, Civic Saber, Selesnya Charm, what? Bloodfray Giant, Electrickery, Common. This pack is, oh my god, this pack is deep. Sunspire Griffin in there as well. Yeah. Anyway, Bloodfray Giant, easy pick for us here. Great, huge offensive threat. Another good 4-drop. I'll start. But sorry, I don't get punished for taking the Gore Clan Chainwalker there, because I get past another Frostburn Weird here, and a Void Wielder, or a Racketeer. Blister Coil Weird, maybe that'll come back around. Dynacharge is also very playable in the aggressive deck, so. But Frostburn Weird, this is double duty, so he slows down that if your opponent's got the aggressive deck, and he gets in there for a lot if your opponent doesn't have the aggressive deck. And if you don't happen to have something to do on your drop. So Syncopate's an option here. Soul Tithe, Runewing, Selesnya, Gilgate, Golgari, Gilgate, double Gilgate in this pack. Yeah, this is a bad pick, I think, on my part. I think Syncopate was definitely the right pick. Syncopate, I'm going to splash if I see something I really can't deal with. Probably never going to play this card, Hussar Patrol. Hey, it's decent, especially if you're in blue-white, but blue's my splash, and he's not that exciting for that. Here I get choice between Izzet Guildgate, Azorius Arrestor, Pursuit of Flight, Asperius Skywatch, Blusher Squall. So Izzet's definitely flowing if I want to go that direction, but I'm going to try and stay on colors. And the Arrestor, that's actually really decent in the aggressive Boros deck, because he's a 2/1 that's going to allow something to get through if he's only got one creature on the board. Can make the difference sometimes. And here we go, get not a whole lot. So I got a Cobble Brute, Tenement Crasher. What else is in there? Aqueous Steed, Crosstown Courier, Giant Growth. Oh, wow. There's no green. Is there no green drafters to my right? Anyway, I'll pick up Cobble Brute. There's maybe he makes the deck. Probably not. And cut some stuff out there. Another Cobble Brute, another Patrol, Racketeer, Civic Saber, or Chronic Flooding. I make the wrong pick here. Much rather, looking back, since I've got the Weird already. Weird Civic Saber on a Weird is great, absolutely amazing. Also good on Tajik, also good on the Blaze Commando. So I don't know why I pick a Racketeer here. I guess I'm worried I don't have enough 3-drops yet. Civic Saber, I don't know if it would have made the deck anyway, but I think it would have been a better pick there for sure. Anyway, get Essence Backlash, Static Caster, Izzet Charm, all come back around. Wow, okay. Here I'll pick up the Izzet Charm. I think it's better than Essence Scatter, even on the splash. The 0/3 that deals 1 to target creatures, not so exciting. Yeah, so pick up the Izzet Charm. It can do a lot of things. In looking at my deck build, we'll talk about it in a minute when we get there, but I think that card should have made the cut. Anyway, the Labrakrew and the Bellows Lizard get back to me. Labrakrew is definitely playable, so I'll pick up the Labrakrew here. Yeah. I mean, he's a defender, but he's getting in for 1 a turn, and if you happen to have a gold spell in your hand. So I get a chance at another Civic Saber, or an Electrickery, really, in my colors. And I'm going to also make Well, Electricity is a nice sideboard option. Again, if your opponent shows you lots of X1s in game 1, this card comes in and can mess him up. But yeah, I still think Civic Saber might have been a better pick there. Anyway, so I get Blister Coil Weird or another Racketeer here. Probably not playing 2 Racketeers. Let's just pick up the Weird. Maybe I need another 1-drop, and again, he's going to trigger off all those, hopefully all those instants and sorceries I picked up. Nothing for me here. I'm going to just hate the Karaz's Monitor. That card would annoy me, and pick up a Chronic Flooding as my last pick. Alright, so let's get into the deck that I managed to put together here. So as you can see, it's mostly a Boros red-white deck with a splash for Hands of Binding, Nivix Cyclops, and the Blast of Genius. I like the way the deck works. It's got a pretty low curve. I get rewarded for ciphering my Hands of Binding onto something and repeatedly activating my Nivix Cyclops, although that doesn't really work, so never mind. Although I guess that's going to work well for the Blaze Commando. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, so I'm going to get some more 1/1 white soldier tokens if I ever manage to get that to go. Looking at my build here, though, I really think Is It Charm would have been a better pick over Blast of Genius. If you look at my curve here, I'm topping out at 5 other than the Blast of Genius, so the most damage I'm ever going to do with Blast of Genius is 5 damage. And that's going to be throwing away a spell I'd probably rather not be throwing away, so more realistically I'm throwing away one of my 2/3 or one of my 4 drops. I don't want to throw away 2 of my 4 drops, so basically I'm either throwing away Scorchwalker or something smaller to do a little bit of damage. It draws you 2 cards, so maybe it is the right choice. It certainly worked out for me the one time I did get to play it. I have some notable sideboard options there. In Catch and Release I didn't end up playing. Profit from Profit and Loss. As I talked about Electricity already, there's the Is It Charm. I mean, there's a couple options. I could have not had a blue splash. There's certainly enough red and white cards there that I could have just gone straight Boros. But anyway, the deck does well for me this week. I had a pretty good time. If you have any suggestions for how you would have built it or what things you would have picked over the cards I picked, I'd love to see them in the comments. Anyway, thanks for watching and hope to see you in the store one day. Thanks. Bye.